What's up, Health Pirates? Welcome to another episode of the Captain's Lifestyle Podcast. This one is going to be a Q&A. I asked my community what questions they have around sleep, and these are going to be my responses to their submitted questions. Disclaimer, this is going to be an overview. I've talked about almost all of these, if not all of the answers to these questions in multiple different podcasts. I talk about this in the Cages morning ritual and the 4-3-2-1-30 method. So if you guys go to my YouTube, you will see in the sleep playlist, I've got three different podcasts that I've recorded with sleep experts. This one with Matt Gallant, this one with Devin Burke, and this one with Matt Maruka. These are all phenomenal episodes. I recommend you guys listen to these. And then this one shows you how to turn your phone screen red, which if you're not doing that already, that's a super simple hack that can save you a lot of brain power in terms of getting better sleep when you're not destroying your melatonin with blue light each night scrolling TikTok. It's okay. I've been there. I've been there. So yeah, there's a ton of free information in here. And then I have condensed all of that information that I have learned over the past decade of me trying to get better sleep for myself, because I used to struggle with sleep, especially when I was in the Marine Corps. I would take sleeping pills before I knew that sleeping pills don't actually help you sleep. They just basically knock you unconscious. And that's why you still wake up the next morning feeling groggy and tired because your brain and body didn't actually get the rest and recovery that they needed. So yeah, I used to struggle with sleep problems and didn't know what to do until I learned about this circadian rhythm and all these hacks that, I've recorded these podcasts about. And if you would like all of my condensed information, I put it into the morning and evening rituals course. So in here, I talk about the Cages morning ritual and the 4-3-2-1-30 method and how implementing these as the new bookends of your day, like starting your morning with the Cages morning ritual and finishing your day with the 4-3-2-1-30 method, those will knock out not only 90% of your sleep problems, but also 90% of your health and productivity problems. By implementing these morning and evening rituals, that sets you up for not only better health, but also more overall joy in your life and fulfillment and productivity. So originally, I was selling and marketing this to entrepreneurs because we can get it fucked up, right? Just sacrificing our sleep and thinking that we're getting more done. But the same thing applies for parents or really anybody who struggles with poor sleep. Implementing a solid morning and evening ritual combined with a consistent wake up and bedtime, yes, even on the weekends, which is something that you will learn in the rituals course, will, like I said, solve 90% of your sleep problems. So this is one of the things that you get as being a part of the crew, which is my online community of individuals like myself, like you watching this right now, who are leading by example and who are implementing these strategies into their lives. So I'll put the link to join the crew in the description. You get access to the rituals course, our online community. We communicate in Telegram. I host weekly coaching calls. Our women's health coach, Hallie, hosts weekly women's circles, and we also do monthly masterminds. So a ton of valuable information in there. Link in the description. Join the crew. Let's get on with the Q&A. So the first question. I'm a night owl, but I'm trying to change that. What time should be bedtime? So this is going to depend on your chronotype. So go to the powerofwinquiz.com. Let's actually do a live lookup right here. Powerofwinquiz.com. This is a quiz developed by sleep doctor Michael Bruce, and it will determine your chronotype. And there's 4 different chronotypes, and depending on which one you are, out of the lion, dolphin, bear, and wolf, that will determine your optimal bedtime and wake up time. So the dolphins are the typical insomniacs or people who claim that they are night owls. So depending on what your chronotype is, it may be best for you to go to bed a little bit later than normal. So that's what you can do first. Yeah, find out what your chronotype is. And then once you determine your chronotype, then just adjust your circadian rhythm to fit that schedule using the strategies that you learn in the morning and evening rituals course. All right, next question. Should you take melatonin? The answer is it depends. There's only a few times that I recommend taking melatonin. One is if you are traveling across multiple different time zones, you can use melatonin to hack that jet lag. The other time is if you are starting to reset your circadian rhythm, but I don't recommend the typical doses that most people take. Most people take a macro dose of melatonin, like the smallest amount I've seen in stores is like 3 milligram. But some people are taking 5, 10 milligram fucking doses of melatonin. Even 1 milligram is a macro dose. That's something that Matt talks about in our podcast about how people are overdosing on melatonin, which is a hormone, like not something that you want to be fucking with. And by taking it consistently at these high doses, that can reduce your body's, your pineal gland's ability to produce enough for yourself, because it's like, oh, we're getting this exogenously, which is just, meaning taken from an external source. We don't need to produce it any longer ourselves, right? So, however, if you are just starting to reset your circadian rhythm, a microdose of melatonin, which is what Matt created, this Dream Optimizer spray from Bioptimizers. This allows you to literally microdose. We'll do a lookup here. Dream Optimizer from Bioptimizers and Newtopia. So where is it? Here we go. Dream Optimizer. So it comes in a spray bottle, so you can literally control the dosage. So start small, 1, 2, 3 sprays. Yeah, wow, they got a lot of information on here. This would be a fantastic resource to just read this. So if you're curious about melatonin, go to I'll put this link in the description. You guys can go read all this. Bioptimizers and Newtopia are my favorite supplement brand. They, in addition to creating effective supplements, they give you valuable information with sources and everything. So yeah, here we go. You can't trust melatonin products. Overdosing on melatonin is super dangerous, as I just said, and explains a little bit why. So I'll put this link in the description with my discount code, Captain Morgan. This is what I recommend if you are starting to reset your circadian rhythm. So we've got the hacking the jet lag, the setting your circadian rhythm. And then the third time that I would recommend taking melatonin is if you are over the age of 55 and struggle with sleep, because at that age, melatonin production, natural melatonin production, can start to decline. So outside of those 3 instances, I do not recommend taking melatonin on a consistent basis. So I imagine that most of you guys would fall into the second category, where you are looking to set or reset your circadian rhythm to a different time to get better sleep. In that case, yes, I would recommend, if sleep is something that you're struggling with, to speed up this circadian rhythm setting process to get the Dream Optimizer and just start with like 2 sprays, just to give yourself that little microdose of melatonin. Second question, or third question, is it safe to wear an Apple Watch to bed because of the EMFs? If you have some form of EMF protection, like that's why I'm rocking Aries, so I'm not worried about like all this tech that I'm surrounded by. Shout out to Aries. Roll the tape.
One of my favorite ways to protect myself from EMFs is swimming in the ocean. And even when I can't, I'm still protected with my Aries Tech LifeTune Flex. It protects me from the oxidative stress caused by electromagnetic radiation that can cause things like headaches, fatigue, and trouble sleeping. To get yours, head to ariestech.com, use code Captain Morgan. That's ariestech.com, use code Captain Morgan. All right, back to the show.
So yeah, if you don't have some form of EMF protection, number 1, get an Aries device. And number 2, minimize your exposure to EMF. So yeah, I would not wear the Apple Watch. Personally, I think that they're stupid. Why do you need another piece of technology on your wrist that just gives you notifications? Like, we're already way over notified. Plus, yes, the EMF aspect of it, and it's directly on your skin. So not great. Yeah, so I would suggest against that until you get an Aries device, and even then, minimize your tech use. I still unplug my Wi-Fi router when I go to bed, so that's another way that you can minimize EMFs. Next question, fastest way to fall asleep. Well, that's going to depend. This is why I do one-on-one coaching because everybody's a little bit different. So what is the fastest way for me to go to sleep is different from the fastest way for you to go to sleep. But what I will say is, um, I don't really think of a fastest way. Like I just live my life in accordance to circadian health, and I go to bed when it's time for me to go to bed. You know, it's not like I try to fall asleep. It's the natural progression of my day of, based on the rise and fall of the sun. Then when night comes, I'm almost always tired and ready for bed and just fall asleep. Um, there are some times when that's not the case, when you're like tired but wired. In those instances, I focus on my breathing, consciously down regulating and slowing my breathing. And then also, instead of being in my head, which is usually what happens when you're tired but wired, is you're just thinking, having these racing thoughts, I'll connect into my body and think about and feel my body relaxing and go like one body part by body part. Yeah, that combined with breathing helps. And also, if you are someone who struggles with that racing mind, journaling your thoughts helps tremendously. A little meditation and journaling before bed, get the craziness out of your head and onto paper. Magnesium for sleeping is beneficial. Yes, extremely beneficial. And not just for sleeping, but for a lot of other things as well. But because this is a podcast on sleep, yes, magnesium can help. Well, actually, we'll do a live lookup here because I'm recording on Zoom. So this will make editing easy for me. I like using Perplexity as a search engine. Benefits of magnesium for sleep. Perplexity gives you way better search results than Google. But yeah, you can see here that magnesium impacts sleep by regulating neurotransmitters like GABA, which helps relax your muscles. And it also, magnesium also improves melatonin production and reduces cortisol levels. So that's some of the benefits for magnesium for sleep. It also helps with a lot of other things. So yes, magnesium is beneficial for sleeping. Roll the clip from Bioptimizers.
Do you suffer with stress, anxiety, trouble sleeping? If so, you could be part of the 80% of people who don't get enough magnesium in their diet. Most supplement brands use cheap, low-quality ingredients at ineffective doses. Bioptimizers goes all in on the formulations, combining 7 different forms of bioavailable magnesium. That's why I recommend Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers.
Next question. Does a good walk balance out a late dinner? I eat 2 hours before bed. So yeah, as you'll learn in the 4-3-2-1-30 method, the 3 is eating or finishing up all large meals within 3 hours before bed. That was the number one hack that Devin Burke mentioned in our podcast together about sleep hacking, that the number one thing that he recommends is moving your last meal as far away from dinner as possible. And I've certainly noticed this to be the case for myself. The further away that I eat from dinner, the higher quality sleep that I get, specifically deep sleep numbers I've noticed are elevated. Eating far away from dinner can also help if you are like me and you get hot before bed, because eating, begins the digestive process, which is heating you internally, and your core body temperature needs to drop in order to drop into deep sleep. So his question, does a good walk balance out a late dinner? Yes, it can. It can absolutely help speed up digestion and balance out blood sugar if you're looking to lose some fat with that little perk. So yes, if I were to eat 2 hours before bed, yes, I go for a walk or at least stay standing for 10 minutes after, and I would also supplement with my digestive SWAT team from Bioptimizers, the masszymes, the hydrochloric acid, and the P3OM. That combo is good stuff. Next up, I've been having multiple vivid dreams all night and constantly wake up at least once. How can I relax my brain? We already talked about this a little bit, the journaling and the meditation before bed and throughout the day as well, just living a more down-regulated lifestyle and yeah, getting things out of your head by changing your story. I don't know what things that you're talking about specifically, but yeah, a lot of us have stories in our head and we are constantly worried, constantly stressed about the next thing, where we have to go, people we have to see, all these notifications and problems and tasks. And oh my gosh, there's so much. Breathe. Down regulate, hydrate yourself, write some things down. You don't need to keep it all in your head. Yeah, so that would be my recommendation, is to set up some time for meditation, set up some time for journaling to clear your thoughts before you get into bed. You should only get into bed when you're tired. If you are not ready to get into bed, don't lay in bed. So stay out of bed until you're ready to hit the hay. What time do I typically go to sleep and wake up? Again, this, I don't know why people ask this question, because what anybody else does shouldn't really have much impact on what you do, because we're all so different. We've all got, different schedules, genetics, etc. But I get it. What time do I typically go to sleep? It depends on the time of year. So I base it off the rise and fall of the sun. Usually wake up a few hours before the sun rises and go to bed a few hours after the sun sets. And that schedule will work for the majority of people. But again, test your chronotype to see. How long do I sleep every night? Around 6.5 to 7.5 hours. And sometimes I track it using a Whoop and or Aura Ring. So those are two good trackers. I will include a discount link to the Whoop, which is the one that I prefer, in the description. But Whoop is a good tracker to track not only the duration of your sleep, but also the quality of your sleep, as well as activity, respiratory rate, resting heart rate variability. It's a good tracker. Next question, get to sleep okay as I'm exhausted. Then around 3 a.m., I'm awake, overthrowing till alarm at 6 a.m. So I can almost guarantee you that this person is not following the Cages morning ritual and the 4-3-2-1-30 method. They're not in the crew, so I don't recognize the name. So they're definitely not living in alignment with their circadian rhythm and not watching the sunrise, not watching the sunset. But if that were to happen to me, so say you're doing all the things that are in the morning and evening rituals course, which again covers 90% of it, and that were to happen, I would supplement with magnesium, some CBD, and also some valerian root and passion flower, and actually also sleep breakthrough from Bioptimizers, which includes GABA, magnesium, glycine, taurine, L-theanine, a lot of good compounds for down regulation. So I would take that stack and yeah, that'll knock you out. And then you'll be able to still wake up by your alarm without feeling groggy. So that combo, the sleep breakthrough with the CBD and the magnesium, and if you want to add in something else, valerian root and passion flower, that'll be good. But number one thing, the Cages morning ritual and the 4-3-2-1-30 method. Hi, I dream so much and totally intense the last few weeks. I'm feeling a bit stressed. So yeah, similar thing. Anybody who's out there feeling stressed, one, work with a coach who understands magic, who can change that constant state of stress and upregulation into a more harmonious flow with your life. Because living in constant stress, you get nothing done. You're just always busy, but you're not actually really being productive, and certainly not able to create the life that you want for yourself. So downregulate using journaling, meditation, prayer. There's lots of ways for this that you'll learn in the morning and evening rituals course. So do that. What can you do if you awake every night between 1 to 3? Seems like this is a big problem for many of you guys. Same answer. Um, Align yourself with the morning and evening rituals course. Like I said, that'll solve 90% of your problems. Then that should go away. If it doesn't go away, then use that supplement protocol, the magnesium, the sleep breakthrough, the CBD, valerian root, and passion flower. And if that's because you have to pee, again, following the 4-3-2-1-30 method, the one is finish up all liquids at least an hour before bed. So that will dramatically improve the quality of your sleep. If you have to wake up to pee in the middle of the night, stopping that. And so drink all your water earlier in the day. Like first thing when you wake up in the morning is good to chug some water. Is sleeping, all right, so this is the last question. Is sleeping with no underwear better? Yes, it is superior. You got to free ball it. That is the only way to go. Let your boys breathe, let them hang, let them wobble around. You can play with them. That's one of the things that I do to help me fall asleep is just my hand is on my balls. I mean, most of the day, but definitely when I go to bed, just, you know, sending good vibes down there, giving them a little massage. So yes, sleeping with no underwear it's the only way to go. So, all right, that is it for this Q&A podcast. We covered some good stuff. Again, the summary of my last decade learning about how to optimize sleep for myself that I've learned from all these experts. You can find it in the morning and evening rituals course. That's one of the perks that you get for joining the crew. So link to that is in the description. Join now, get access to our community of health pirates from all over the world who are leading by example, living the captain's lifestyle, living by the captain's code, getting high quality sleep, feeling good. So hope to see you on board. Until next time, live the captain's lifestyle. Peace and love y'all.